everyone! Good morning! I am Janice Alessandra, together with my group mates, Joanne Legaspi, Mergin Limaco, and Michael Vinslao. We are the Group 5 reporters, and we are going to report to you the Kartilya ng Katipunan. Good morning everyone! So this is Janice Alessandra, and I am tasked to report and to discuss to you the author of our very own Kartilya ng Katipunan, Emilio Dizon Jacinto. Emilio Dizon Jacinto, guys, was one of those bravest men who fight for our independence, and truly he make a remarkable contribution to our Philippine history. So when Bonifacio passed away during the battle, Emilio Jacinto continued the fight for independence and he led the Katipunan. And also that time, Emilio Aguinaldo, the leader of the Magdalo faction, he offered Emilio Jacinto to join the force, but he refused to join the faction and instead he led the Katipunan. Emilio Jacinto was born on December 15, 1875 at Rosario, Manila, Philippines. So, he was the only child of Mariano Jacinto and Josefa Dizon. But unfortunately, his father died shortly after his birth, and her mother decided to ask her brother Don Jose Dizon to adopt Emilio Jacinto. So, his mother that time decided, because he realized that Emilio Jacinto could have the brighter future in the hands of her brother than in her, because the family also of Emilio Jacinto was only belong to the low-income family. So that's why his mother decided na lang to let her brother adopt Emilio Jacinto. Despite of being an orphan, Emilio Jacinto still managed to attain education by sending himself in the Colegio de San Litran. Later on, he went to the University of Santo Tomas and studied law, but because he encountered Spanish classmates that abused him, Emilio Jacinto, the young man, wasn't able to finish his law course. So, Emilio Jacinto, di ba, nagkuhan siya sa college. So, he is fluent in speaking Spanish and Tagalog. Pero, most of the time, he preferred to use the Spanish language. So, mas kuhan siya sa Spanish kaysa sa Tagalog. So, at the age of 19, Emilio Jacinto decided to enter the underground society or the revolutionary society, which is the Katipunan. So, it is led by Emilio Andres Bonifacio, whose objective was to gain the Philippine independence from the Spain in 1892. So, thinking at the age of 19, Emilio Jacinto already have the guts to enter the underground society. It really shows that he is a man who's willing to sacrifice his life to fight for kalayaan. So, he is very brave man. So, dili lang jud siya kanang bright nga tao or kanang maalamon, but he is also a brave man. So, isugon jud si Emilio Jacinto, guys, kay maski naman guro kita, diba? At the age of 19. So, kinsa man mo join para lang magpakamatay, diba? So, kung mo join magud ka ato nga force is you will offer your life kay mo fight ka for independence. So, just to think na dira na aspect, diba? All Katipuneros are very brave and very passionate on their goals. So, when he entered Katipunan, he became Bonifacio's secretary. He also became advisor on fiscal matter and an overseer on the financial affairs of the Katipunan. Jacinto has three other names. The first one, he has an alias Pinky Ann, which means to strike. Second, he is an intelligent person. He became the brain of the Katipunan. That was his other name, the brain of the Katipunan. The third one, or the last one, was the Dimas Islao. So Dimas Islao was his pen name when he wrote the Liwanag at Dilim. So he also wrote the poem Ala Patrina in October 1897. Emilio Jacinto also became a writer and the editor of Katipunan's newspaper called Kalayaan. So after the publication of the Katipunan's newspaper, the membership rose from 300 to 3,000 members. So Emilio's writing skills for the information of everyone was inspired by Dr. Jose Rizal and Marcelo H. del Pilar. So, Bonifacio and the young writer composed separate moral codes that would guide the actions of the revolutionaries. Actually, kay Andres Bonifacio, he made a decalogo that's said to be originally entitled as Katungkulang Gagawin. So, in English pa, Duties of the Son of the People. But, unfortunately, the decalogo was not published because he chose to publish the Kartilya ni Emilio Jacinto. So he noticed that time the intellect potential of Emilio Jacinto, as well as siguro based in his analysis, the Kartilya was superior to what he made. So that's why the Kartilya became the official teaching of the Katipunan. So this Kartilya contains guiding principles and the rules that each Katipuneros must possess within themselves. So especially to those new recruits members. So mo na siya ang ginahatag. So mo na siya ang nag-guide sa mga Katipuneros. It is believed that Emilio died at the age of 24, April 16, 1899 because of malaria in Barangay Alipit, Santa Cruz, Laguna. That would be all my report. Thank you for listening to my discussion. The next reporter will be Joanne Legaspi.
Good morning, everyone. I am Joanne Legaspi Arceli, and now let's continue our discussion. Let's talk about the historical context. Kataas-taasang kagalang-galang na Katipunan Anak ng Bayan or KKK. KKK was a revolutionary society that espoused independence and freedom for the Philippines through force of arms. So KKK established by the leadership of Andres Bonifacio. At the mind of this also was Emilio Jacinto, which the main goal is to espouse independence since the Philippines was held by Spanish Spain within 333 years. So next, the main objective of KKK was the separation of the Philippines from Spain, at the same time, the development of the Filipino as citizens of their own nations once independence was achieved. So this organization helped Philippines to become independence or have freedom from Spain, and able for the Philippines achieve the development, especially on citizens for its nation. Next, they also saw it as their responsibility to help the poor and oppressed and to teach them good manners, hygiene, and morality. In short, it's talking about ethically. What is ethically? It is talking about all good things nga ilang gina-teach sa una. New recruits to the society underwent a religious initiation process similar to Masonic practices. A neophyte dressed in black and accompanied by his sponsor was brought to small room decorated with patriotic posters in front of cabinet draped in black. He was then seated at dimly lit table on which rested a bellow, a revolver, and a set of questions which he must answer to the satisfaction of the members assembled. Next, organizational structures of the Katipunan. So there are three ranks of membership. membership. First, katipon, which means katipon ang tawag sa pinakamababang antas kapag nagpupulong. Second, kawal, tumutukoy sa isang kasapi o miyembro ng panglupang komponente o bahagi ng pambansang sandatahang lakas. Third, bayani, or some who is brave or who works toward. So, next. Ako si Juan Legaspi, nanunumpa sa ngalan ng Diyos na aking gugugulin ang aking buhay, ang aking lakas, ang kaunting mga maasahan ay aking idadamay, na lahat ang pagmamahal ko sa aking asawa, anak, magulang at kapatid ay aking iginugugol na lahat alang-alang sa pagtatanggol sa ating inang bayan at sa pag-api ng ating lahi sa sangkatagalugan at sa KKK, KNMANB, nanunumpa naman ako sa ngalan ng tunay na Diyos na hindi ko tatalikdan at hindi ko uurungan ni kahit isang hakbang at aking ipamana sa aking anak at apo na susundin ko na walang tutol at pikit mata at sa katunayan na dugo na manggagaling sa aking tunay na puso. Next. Members were to pay an entrance fee of 1 real 40, a unit of currency equal to 1/8 of a silver real pesos, as well as monthly dues and other fees exclusively to the benefit fund and collected at every session meeting. So, next. So, na pictures guys. So, makita nyo guys na picture which is the sa katastaasang sanggunian. Sa second picture is magsangguniang bayan. And then last picture is ang sangguniang balangay. So sangguniang sangguniang katastaasang sangguniang bayan. The Supreme Council, or the highest body which headed by Supremo or President. So even guys in our government right now, Duterte ang pinakataas. So if we go back on 1987's Constitution in Article 7, the executive department is the highest justice like Supreme Council, President ang makita na lead. And then sangguniang bayan, some of sa government composed of governor and congressman. So the sangguniang balangay is composed of barangay captain, treasurer, secretary. So guys. So next, the legislative body of the Katipunan was known as the Katipunan Assembly, and it was composed of the membership of the Supreme Council along with the presidents of the popular and provincial councils. Judicial power rested in the Sangguniang Hukuman, which were provincial courts that decided on eternal matters. Judgments on grave matters were meted by the Secret Chamber, composed of Andres Bonifacio, Emilio Jacinto, and Dr. Pio Valenzuela. So, legislative means Article 6, 1987 Constitution. Legislative is the making law. So, judicial as a power to decide or judge. So, next. Cartilla derived from Spanish term cartilla, which was the primer used for grade schools during Spanish period. This document served as the primary lessons for the members of the Katipunan. So, Cartilla is a guidebook which is Emilio Jacinto, which leads out the group's roles and principles. So, next. Richardson said that the Cartilla is the base known of all Katipunan texts. It is the only document of any length sent in print by the Katipunan prior to August 1896 that is known to be still extant. Cartilla was printed a small pamphlet that was distributed to the membership of the Katipunan. So that's all, guys. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Merjin Palacios Limaco and I'm going to tackle about the Katipunan Code of Conduct by Emilio Jacinto.
Going back to the past, the journey to freedom is long and hard. The price of bravery and principle is high. Back then, they thought that the day of the real freedom will forever remain a dream. And through Kartilya ng Katipunan, Filipinos were united to fight for what they own. Kartilya ng Katipunan became an oath that every Katipuneros must follow to show their determination in being a part of the people who wanted a change. Here goes the 14 principal points of the Kartilya ng Katipunan composed by Emilio Jacinto. So, the first Katipunan Code of Conduct is the life that is not consecrated to a lofty and reasonable purpose is a tree without a shade, if not a poisonous weed. So, guys, what does it mean? The first Code of Conduct simply tells us that we must have a purpose-driven life. Because why? Because without knowing our purpose, we will suffer from unwanted situation or circumstances. So that is why we must know how to set our goals and also find meaning into it and treasure it. The second one is to do good for personal gain and not for its own sake is not true virtue. The second Katipunan Code of Conduct means that we must not be selfish and we must do good deeds not to earn praises but to show it wholeheartedly even though you are not being praised by other or someone. Because kung maghimo lang ka for your own sake or for the popularity, then it is not worthy to be called good. Everyone must bear in mind that doing good must accompanied with humbleness. The next one is, it is rational to be charitable and love one's fellow creature, and to adjust one's conduct, acts, and words to what is in itself reasonable. So, this third Katipunan Code of Conduct give us the real definition of true act of kindness, in which being kind is makita sa service and love na ginahatag sa isa ka tao to his or her kapwa-tao without asking anything in return. And that's the best example to show an act of kindness in which having an open hand to give help without expecting any in return. The fourth one is, whether our skin be black or white, we are all born equal. Superiority in knowledge, wealth, and beauty are to be understood, but not superiority by nature. What highlights here in number 4 is the equality. No matter what race, status, and educational background, whether you have black skin or white skin, this will never be a reason for unequal treatment for people. Our society may have divided us into groups, but we must all understand and take note that no one is superior of anyone. So we are all equal and nobody deserves to be discriminated. So the next one is, the honorable man prefers honor to personal gain, the scoundrel gain to honor. So this fifth Katipunan Code of Conduct simply means that a good person must understand that honoring oneself is also means that he or she values honor kaysa sa iyang personal gain or iyang personal interest. Sixth is, to honorable man, his words is sacred. This tells us that we must do things that we promised because we can never take back what we have said. So, walk the talk. Whatever you've said must be done, or simply means, parehas sa giingon ni ma'am last week, we must be a man of our own words. Next is, do not waste thy time. Wealth can be recovered, but not time lost. Everyone must understand the importance of time. Kay di ba we are usually focus on worrying sa lihing nga butang. So, this code of conduct tells us to treasure our time because we can never take it back. We should make use our time wisely that in the end dili ta magmahay or regret for the things we weren't able to do. Next is,
defend the oppressed, and fight the oppressor before the law or in the field. Okay, so this code of conduct trying to say that we must choose to fight for what is right, that we may don't have the same strengths, but we can help one another. Fight with the weak people who need your help, and comfort and fight those people who keep on putting others down by oppressing them or maapi sa ilahagod. So the next is the prudent man is sparing in words and faithful in keeping secrets. This highlights the importance of trust and confidentiality. A wise man is a man who thinks of what he say and keeps what is needed to be kept. It is according to the Code Conduct number 9. Now let's proceed to the 10th Code of Conduct. On the thorny path of life, man is the guide of woman and the children. And if the guide leads to the precipice, those whom he guides will also go there. This 10th principle is all about being able to lead the family. And a true man leads his family to the right path by what? By showing them that he is righteous. Not just for man, but to everyone. We must be a role model because whatever nga makita nila sa ato, kailangan ng sundugon. Especially for the kids. Diba? Kay dali ra na sila makatuon. So, we must think wisely sa atong mga actions. The next is, thou must not look upon woman as a mere plaything, but as a faithful companion who will share with thee the penalties of life. Her physical weakness will increase thy interest in her, and she will remind thee of the mother who bore thee and reared thee. This principle is about women, to value them, that every woman deserves to be respected and no man shall see them as an object, nor pampalipas oras lang. Just like what they always say, a man who don't respect woman, kay dili niya gina-respect ang iyang mother who gave him birth. As well as sa ato ang mga girls, dili po nato nabuhaton sa ilaha. Because we are all deserved to be loved with full respect and care. The next one is, what thou dost not desire done unto thy wife, children, brothers and sisters, that do not unto the wife, children, brothers and sisters of thy neighbor. Simple lang ginapasabot aning 12. We must not do bad things against other people if we don't want other people to do bad things against us. Confucius says what? Do not do unto others what you don't want others do unto you, because every action has its own consequences. And now let's proceed to the 13th Katipunan Code of Conduct. Man is not worth more because he is a king, because his nose is aquiline and his color white, not because he is a priest, a servant of God, nor because of the high prerogative that he enjoys upon earth, but he is worth most who is a man of proven and real value, who does good, keep his words, is worthy and honest, he who does not oppress nor consent to being oppressed, he who loves and cherishes his fatherland, though he be born in the wilderness and know no tongue but his own. So this highlights of having the right character and good values. According to this code of conduct, a man's life is not measured by what in his status in life nor with the things that he possessed. Instead, it is in his character and his love for the native land. The last Katipunan Code of Conduct says, when these rules of conduct shall be known to all, the longed-for sun of liberty shall rise brilliant over the most unhappy portion of the globe, and its rays shall diffuse everlasting joy among the confederated brethren of the same race. The lives of those who have gone before, the fatigues and the well-paid sufferings will remain. If he who desires to enter the Katipunan has informed himself of all this and believes he will be able to inform what will be his duties, he may fill out the application for admission. So, the last code of conduct shows the desire of the author, which is Emilio Jacinto. It It emphasizes the hope he has for everyone and believes that every sacrifices that a Katipunero make will always be worth it. And while we have different interpretation with what was intended by Emilio Jacinto, there is one thing everyone can agree on. Kartilya ng Katipunan was meant to guide us in living our everyday life to its fullest. More importantly, it shows how to be a true Filipino in words and action. And for the information of everyone, Katipunan was not just an organization working towards the freedom of the Filipinos. They built on the ideological and political foundation constructed by men and women who sacrificed themselves because of their love for the country and for the people. Just like Rizal, who pushed Filipinos to think critically with full understanding. This code of conduct was made to inform people of what they deserve to know for making their lives better. I think that will be all, and thank you for listening.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mika Alvin Sanlao, and I'll be reporting today the relevance of Kartilya ng Katipunan. The Kartilya, authored by Emilio Jacinto, mainly taught us moral principles, and it taught us the concept of beauty within. The Kartilya was not actually made by just to guide the Katipuneros, especially new recruited members to the Katipunan society, but it was a very influential, talking about realistic vision, talking about reality of what or how we Filipino think in general. It was just like a vow, right? Because for me, it was really indeed discussing about us Filipinos, our value and characters.
You could see or read the Kartilya. You could see the real vision was really a Kartilya looks like when we put all those 13 codes of conducts to a scenario of our life. Well, definitely we will have harmonious in society. We're doing rights and showing love is everywhere. It teaches us moral principles. This Kartilya is the fruit of hard work of Rizal na ipabahagi niya kay Emilio at Andres Bonifacio na gustong ibahagi naman ni Emilio at Andres sa Katipunan na magsilbing gabay para sa matuwid at magandang buhay. Ito ay naglalaman ng magpapakita na kabutihang aral sa ating sarili at sa ating kapwa. Mabuting kilos ng isang Katipunero, prinsipyo at kung gusto mong maging Katipunero, ang Kartilya ang magbibigay sa iyo kung ano ba ang dapat na katangian na meron ka upang maging parte ng Katipunero. Many ideas in Kartilya can be seen or may apply today to our each personal life.
It highlights more important value like
Valuing time, kindness, equality, and so many things.
So that would be all our report. I hope that you understand the content of Kartilya of Emilio Jacinto, and it really touches our self-reflections of who we are. And actually, by that Kartilya, if you really comprehend the content, is that you could actually assess yourselves today. So do I have these values? Do I apply these principles? Because Emily wanted us to do the right things despite of the changes that we are experiencing right now. If we will put and always remember what's in Kartilya, we could live full of righteousness. So let this Kartilya guide your path throughout your life, and let those life lost before who defend us for freedom be proud of us, because in this way we could thank them for everything. So always choose to do good things to others, and always choose to good things over everything. So in behalf of the Group 5 reporters, I am Janice Alessandra. I want to thank you all for listening. God bless and thank you everyone. Good morning.